you have to acknowledge, as part of this process, there's also some bad business plans that are out there. I mean, from my perspective, I see developers going forward sometimes with projects that are really bad projects. And if you're going to say, try to put all the blame in the county or the board of supervisors or the executive office, there are some bad projects that are proposed by people out there that work their way through the process because they paid money. And somehow we have to work out a way to ferret out the bad projects that are out there that take a lot of staff time. They really aren't doable projects. I have a couple of groups I didn't hear anything from today that are out there. There's Mendo Futures, and I don't know how they fit into the overall scheme of things. There's this new group, Mendocino Tomorrow. So there's some other business groups that somehow need to blend into this. I think part of what I see, we have a negative business environment here in the county. There are a lot of business people that don't want to come here because every time you try and do a project, there's 100 people come out of the woodwork with 100 different reasons why to oppose the project. So even if you have a good project, we have a reputation here as having a negative business environment. And sometimes I think people don't understand the economics of what it takes to run a business. And so I think people have to engage in that level. We have a lot of partnerships going on right now. We have some good partnerships, we have some bad partnerships. One of the things that's distressing is, as hard as we work on partnerships, eventually it's always the county's fault. There are city council people that are out there right now that they're rallying, and the county got too much money, the county ought to share with the cities more. I think the cities have to make some acknowledgement that their own houses are not in order before they throw rocks at the county, from my perspective. And I see a lot of that going on. Cities don't do a very good job of planning, don't do a very good job of managing their resources, and then they throw rocks at the county. And I think that's just an honest discussion that we all should have, and everybody should talk about that. Everybody has a role to play here. One of our great partners that I think you'll see us engage with is on this broadband, is the Mendocino County Office of Education. And we've been working really hard at partnerships and how we can tie together our communications infrastructure. Everybody looks to see what they're contributing. Then you get things like local groups that engage in projects. And I've been talking about this lately, that there's a bunch of groups trying to do a courthouse in downtown Ukiah. There's never been a person that's come to my office and asked for the county's opinion about a courthouse in downtown Ukiah. We spend almost probably $400,000 a year transporting prisoners back and forth to the court system, and you can't have a courthouse that saves the county any money unless you have a jail next to the courthouse. But there are groups that are engaged out there about putting a courthouse in downtown Ukiah, and no one's ever talked to the county. I think that's a disgenuine way of doing business. If people have an interest in doing something, they ought to come to the county, and they ought to see what we can do in a partnership without fully engaging on something, without asking for our perspective. And finally, we talked a little bit about tax sharing. Well, I gave a proposal on tax sharing many months ago where I said, in my view of the world, one of the worst things you can do is, if you share revenue, is let everybody just share revenue and spend on their own. So I had made a proposal that the money goes into a central pot, and the government agencies put it together and decide how to spend their infrastructure. And one of the worst things that can happen is if you get more money, if everybody just spends it on more pet projects. So I really, from my standpoint, I look for something where there's a commitment to infrastructure, because that's what really hurts us all. And if you get more money, invest more money in infrastructure. Don't invest more money in tech projects that are out there. And that's just some counsel and some comments that I've seen today. It's very helpful just with what we've gone through. Mendocino County has absolutely terrific resources, has a terrific group of people. It's just how to pull everybody together with a common vision that I think is the real trick here. So I think we'll keep moving along, and we'll keep giving you suggestions on how we think we might be able to engage the community in discussion. But I'm very hopeful that what we've seen at a national level, we can translate to a local level, and we can have an honest dialogue about how is our community going to grow, and how is our community become viable for the future and that we don't just become a declining industry, including our business partners taking shots at the county and telling us what we're doing wrong, but being real partners in what it is that we do. And that being said, all those comments, it's now, the chair gets the final word.
The final word is you just captured about 3 times as many of the thoughts that I've been writing down. So I think you've said it quite eloquently, and I think I'll end with that. So no additional comment from the board. We'll call this workshop adjourned, and we're going to proceed back into closed session on employee performance evaluation. Thank you.
Yes. Good.